Tonight on Faux Show Moto, we're going to be tackling a subwoofer in a 2007 G500. When I was trying to figure this out after my sub blew, I found a million articles of people who had blown subwoofers. Everybody found a speaker that worked, and everyone said, this fits, that fits, this doesn't fit. There were very few pictures, very few input that was visual. I'm a visual learner. So tonight I decided to make a video. The speaker I chose to go with is a SKAR audio dual voice coil, similar to what's already in there from Harman Kardon, which is a dual voice coil, 2 ohm speaker. This one here is a significant upgrade, both in weight and composition from factory. You'll see it has a rubber surround and a treated paper cone, so it's going to be good even in the elements. You spill something on it, you're going to be good to go as long as you don't let it sit there. It also has 2 sets of terminals, 1 on each side. The idea behind that is the 2 middle terminals right here are for soldering, and the 2 outer terminals are for spades to be hooked onto. 1 on each side, 2 voice coils, 2 hookups. You can tell this is a pretty legit speaker for a 6.5. Has a nice rubber surround and a pretty heavy magnet. This is the EVL-65D2. It is 2 ohm, and again, this is going to replace the factory Harman Kardon that is behind your rear seat. Rear seats do flip up pretty easily. There's a spot on the side just behind the seat. You twist that knob, the seat flops down. Just a little further down behind the seat, there's another handle at the bottom in the back. You pull that and the seat will flip up. I'll go ahead and show you how it looks after you flip the seat up, and then how to get to the wiring. Now that we have flipped the seats up by hitting this lever to flip it down, and this lever to flip it up, we can now get to our subwoofer. There's 4 screws holding on the metal speaker bezel. We're going to go ahead and remove those, then remove the speaker, check the wiring, check the speaker itself, and see if we can see any visual damage to the blown sub. Just like in any car stereo project, you're going to want to have light, a screw gun, a multimeter, electric tape, various types of pliers and wire strippers, and of course a tape measure. Let's get to work. Faux show. We cheated and did not remove the cup holders behind the center console, so the seat doesn't go all the way down. So these 2 you're gonna have to get out by hand. Always keep the screws in a safe spot. There we go. Kind of interesting bezel. Oh boy, I gotta show you all that. Just in case we weren't sure whether or not the sub was blown. Yeah, that is absolutely ruined. Yikes. Looking at the composition of the stock Harman Kardon, I am very excited to put in the SKAR audio. Holding the subwoofer in are 4 Phillips screws right here, 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 and here. We're going to go ahead and take those out and see what we can do. Again, this is a 2007 G500. The sub itself is 6.5 inches. I'm going to go ahead and show you the measurements on it right quick. And again, I'm not sure if yours is going to be identical, but in the MDF, you've got a little bit over 6.5 inches, and it is actually recessed in. Not sure if you can see that, but the speaker actually drops in. So we're gonna go ahead and pry it out and see what we can do. Remember, always be gentle when you're prying something out, because you always want to avoid that oh no, and make sure you end up with that faux show. Okay. Thank you, Mercedes, for absolutely zero extra wiring length. Looks like we got two fancy wire connectors we're gonna have to cheat with, but it does look like we're lucky enough that they did give us stripes on the side, so we know which is positive and which is the negative. Excellent. If you really do want to stick with the Mercedes on the 2007, this is your part number. A4638201702. I gotta say, it's actually heavier than I would have expected and has pretty good components on there, but here's where they went wrong. An all basically paper cone, but I gotta tell you, after 15 years, she's held up pretty well. Let's go ahead and remove the clips. Okay, they appear that they will fit on either side, so it should not matter as long as they're connected plus to plus, minus to minus. Look at how the SKAR audio towers over the factory Harman Kardon. This is 6.5 inches of fury. Faux show. This magnet has to be at least twice, if not 3 times as large, and a lot heavier. I'm very excited to hear how it sounds. Again, the SKAR audios come with 2 separate wiring receivers, one on each side, both labeled plus and minus. We're going to go ahead and connect to the outer connectors with some spade lugs on both sides. What we're going to do, just in case later on we decide to go back to a factory Mercedes hookup, we're just going to go ahead and splice this wire with enough room that we could always connect it back on, yet we're still going to have these fantastic connectors. You'll thank me later. Faux show. For this step, we're going to need some wire cutters, a blade. I grabbed 2 different size spade lugs, some wire strippers, and we're going to go ahead and hook it up. Okay, here it goes. Once again, want to make sure we leave enough slack. Okay. Take our blade. We'll separate these wires very carefully. We'll stretch them. And it looks like the red wire splices should be just fine for this. These Kleins are definitely by far my favorite strippers. Once you got enough there, you want to just twist the wires a little bit. Carefully place on your wire connector. And you're going to want to take these beauties and match up the red with the red to crimp it. Give it a little tug. We'll do one on this side as well. Same thing. Okay, now that we've made our wiring harnesses, we're going to go ahead and grab our SKAR audio. And again, we want to go on the outer two setups. And again, they are labeled negative and positive. So the one with the line on it, that's going to be your negative. And the other one is going to be your positive. Don't be afraid if it is a very snug fit. That's actually what you want. Nice. Perfect. Okay. That. Okay. 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 Let's go ahead and connect it. And fingers crossed we get some sound. Ooh, that click is faux show. Now let's see if we get any sound.
On most requested live. You continue to pick every song coming out of your speakers tonight.
There we go. We got some sound coming out.
Big T-shirt Billy.
Yeah, buddy. Faux show. So the only thing not so plug and play about this setup is the screw holes themselves. There's one here, 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 and here, but it's recessed into the MDF. So what we did was we turned the speaker just a little bit so that we're not changing too much of the clearance area underneath. And then we're going to drill some pilot holes, and we're going to use some slightly longer screws to get ourselves the result that we do need. Now that we have the first pilot hole done, we're going to go ahead and screw in these support screws. Looks like at this point we're going to have to remove the cup holders in order to get the seat up far enough to drill our pilot holes and get the other two screws in. Fingers crossed, it's straightforward. And lucky for us, it is simply one Phillips here, one Phillips over there, and this should just come right out. This angles up and over. Don't judge, it's a little dirty under there. So flipping the seat up didn't get us as much room as we were hoping for, but we're still going to give it a whirl. All four screws in there, and we are full show.